right, and welcome to this week's episode of Play by Play. I am your host, Andy Horton, alongside my co-host, Jared Bergstrom. It's episode 121, and well, we got to talk about some Reds because just week after week, most of it's not bad news, some of it's a tragedy, but week after week, they're making news. So we got to talk about some Reds, then college football, then NFL. So we'll see how long we linger on each. So since we're starting off with the Reds, Terry Francona. Jared, that was one of your.
That was the one when I found out he was fired, and you said we got to talk about the Reds one more time. That was on that short list I sent you of people who we need to go after, and I went out and Terry Francona called the Reds. They didn't call him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you obviously saw more of the press conference than I did. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was during the press conference. It was brought up about his health and everything, and I think it was Crawl who spoke up and said that Francona offered to do push-ups and jumping jacks to show that he can still do everything because he had, I don't know if it was a heart surgery or just a heart procedure he had in the off season, but he's ready to come back, and he made a big splash his first day after.
That was something I definitely wanted to bring up. His first official act as Reds manager, fired the entire hitting staff. I don't know if it's actually the entire.
All three.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was just three. Fires the entire hitting staff. I think that makes a lot of Reds fans happy.
I also read in an article that Derek Johnson's job is not for sure
Is that
on a comeback. That's a pitching coach.
Ooh, I like Derek Johnson.
I did too. So, but hey, we gotta get rid of Derek Johnson.
Yeah. In Terry, we trust.
Terry.
Yeah. Something that one of the big quotes that I took away from it was that he said that I'm gonna spend all of my energy making sure that the players spend all of their energy playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, and that is refreshing. That is like. That felt good as a Reds fan, you know. That inspired me because it's been a long time since the Reds, even with all the hype that was brought up over the last year and a half. It's been a long time since the Reds have played the game the right way, and that when they haven't played the right way, there's been consequences. I mean, I loved as much, if not more than anybody, how aggressive they were on the base paths. But there was never a change. It was almost like the more they got thrown out, the more aggressive they would be. And it's like, you have to be smart. You can be aggressive and smart, and they weren't both. And it was really frustrating. And Reds threw away a lot of outs and a lot of innings that way, just because of dumb base running. And that's not going to happen with Terry Francona. The Reds have not been able to play defense in a couple of years. They've been bad. I don't think that's going to be. Are we going to go from last to first? No, but are the Reds going to suck at defense?
We weren't all the way last.
It was close.
I know it was close, but I mean Pittsburgh was still the basement dweller, so
okay.
we got that. not officially last, but close enough.
Are we going to go from 29th to first? No, but are we going to be middle of the pack? I expect at least that. Very, very excited about Terry Francona.
He's going to keep us in contention until. Barring injuries, we're going to be in contention until the end.
Excited about Terry Francona. Got anything else to say about that?
I mean, he's a winner wherever he goes. He ended the Red Sox drought, won 2 World Series championships with the Red Sox, ended Guardians drought. He took them to the World Series in 2016 when they lost to the Cubbies. Looking at his stats, he has had he had 2 losing seasons from 2004 till 2023. One was 80 and 82, and one was 76 and 86. So he's a winner.
Yeah, through and through, and me also being a Red Sox fan. You guys might have seen me put my arms up. That's my guy. Freaking he's helped bring a couple of titles to Beantown, so definitely always appreciative of him. And it's awesome that he got to play for the Reds, and the Reds like bringing back the former players and bring them back, be part of the tradition. But this guy's gonna be different. He's gonna be.
Well, they went out and got a guy who has
be great.
managerial experience.
He's gonna be great.
We had Brian Price, Jim Riggleman, and David Bell, and none of them had managed an MLB team before. So you had to go out. I felt you had to go out and get somebody with managerial experience, or the fan base started turning on the Castellinis.
Right. No, I had turned on them. I mean, I was never on their side.
No.
I've hated those guys for a long time. But hey, maybe you're turning things around. Bob?
Bob.
Maybe you don't have to sell the team, Bob. It might be okay. We'll see.
We'll see how the first month of baseball goes, because that always depends on what mood I am in for the whole season. Is how April and May go.
Yeah. Jared, kind of pretty much done with baseball, but I think your World Series pick might have been eliminated.
On to college football.
The Orioles.
Yeah,
bit to dust.
That was horrible.
They were. I'm pretty sure they were my pick out of the AL anyways, as well. But my NL Phillies, they're still around.
I'm going for the Padres and the Tigers.
I tell you what, though, things aren't looking too good for the Phillies. Down 2-1 right now.
No.
On the series. Hopefully they're able to turn things around. It's the middle of the first, 0-0.
Tigers are up 3-0 in the top of the seventh. Come on.
Yep. And then, do you see that catch Steve Kwan had yesterday? Oh,
yeah,
boy.
That was insane. When just looking at it live, I thought he trapped it.
Had to put it, dude, me too. I had to put it in post so people can see it.
But yeah, I thought he trapped it. I was like, there is no way, because he came at it at the wrong angle with the glove up top, and I don't see how he did it.
Incredible.
I want to see if I can find.
Yankees-Royals tied up 1-1 on the series, and then Dodgers-Padres.
I'm liking that.
Like, if the Phillies lose to the Padres, I won't be mad.
Yeah, as long as the
Padres got a lot of really good players. I'm a big Blake Snell guy. Dylan Cease is a baller, even though his ERA right now in the playoffs is 13.5.
That is not the one. I'm trying to find the Fernando Tatis home run from last night. Ooh, I don't know if you saw it, but I mean, you talk about a no doubter. So it was a 0-2 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. And
that man his dingers. That's a heck of a homer. Look at this defensively. I think my volume on the computer is all the way turned down. Oh, the video is not great. Let's see if we get it on if we get a better look on the replay. Come on, ESPN. Gotta be better than that.
But yeah, here we go. Yeah. I thought he had trapped it. I guess he did get the glove turned back around.
Just barely, dude. Even that still looks like he trapped it.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So, shout out to Steve Kwan. There's been some incredible baseball.
Yes.
And some incredible plays made in baseball so far this season.
All right, so is that it for baseball then?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
So in this weekend was supposed to be the best weekend for college football with all the top ranked matchups we have, but I think last weekend has been one of my favorite college football weekends in a long time.
Yeah, and it got started off fast. I mean, on Friday night, Oregon they did kind of smoke Michigan State 31-10, but then Syracuse and UNLV went to overtime. Back and forth, 44-41. Syracuse, Kyle McCord, man.
We're gonna talk. Maybe he just had to go.
I don't know. He's not good. All right, he's not good. I will maintain that through.
Let me pull up his stats.
Oh, they're pretty good, but like
67% completion, 150. Oh, that's first. I don't want just versus conference. I want it all.
1,814 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Oh, my God.
64% completion percentage. Yeah, it's just a much lower level of competition.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, what does the rest of Syracuse's schedule look like? See if they can maybe, because just one loss, they could. Oh, their one loss was to Stanford, and Stanford's bad. Could they get
NC
ranked?
State, see, I think they're going to lose to Pitt, and then they're going to lose to Miami.
So that'll be 2 losses.
That'll be 3.
But, they got a couple you could get. Oh, that's UConn. I was looking at it's like, why is. But I thought I clicked on basketball for a second. They could get the win against NC State. NC State fell off the face of the earth, and I kind of fell for that preseason hype, and I am ashamed by that with how bad they just getting throttled by. I think it was back-to-back weeks, or no, okay, 51-10 to Tennessee, and then a 59-35 against Clemson 2 weeks later. Yeah, sorry Wolfpack, you got kicked out the den.
But this Syracuse Orange and UNLV running Rebels. This game was
good.
The definition of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Started out Syracuse up 14-0, and then UNLV scored 21 straight. Syracuse kicks a field goal going into halftime. Coming out, they go up 31 to 24. An interception. It was a pick 6 thrown by Kyle McCord. They tie it up at 31 all. So, like I said, he's still not good.
He threw one pick 6 in the game, and he's not good.
He comes right back. They went to overtime because he threw that pick 6. He comes right back. And throws a touchdown, kind of trying to redeem himself. So good job there. And then that was the end of regular. Or no. Yeah, that was the end of regulation. I guess they actually. Wait, is this missing a touchdown?
No, I see what you mean. I looked at it. UNLV went first. They kicked a field goal in overtime. Syracuse scored a touchdown. Don't have to kick the extra point.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, regardless, fantastic game, back and forth.
Yes.
I didn't think that Kyle McCord could provide such an entertaining football game. So, at least he can do that. Good for him.
All right, now into Saturday.
The madness. The chaos.
Yeah. That was insane. And we will work, since that game was at night, we can come back to it. Georgia. Oh.
I was going to say, we can start up there. It's the top one on my list.
Okay.
On ESPN.
All right, so can I go picture in picture?
Alabama.
On yours. On mine I can. Yeah. Alabama losing to Vandy for the first time in 40 years.
Is it that long?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Vanderbilt was 0-60 against the top 5 teams.
That's crazy.
Vanderbilt
That's really bad.
scored 40 points in this game. You want to take a chance? Take a guess on how many points they scored the whole time Nick Saban was there?
Against Alabama?
Against Alabama.
24?
13.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was there for a long time, so I figured
He was there.
Get
there was a lot of shutouts.
At least maybe, field goal a game. Sheesh.
But it was, that was insane. I wasn't texting anybody because I didn't want to jinx it, because it's like, because you talk about it, it'll happen. But I like DeBoer, but it shows how close the college football is coming back. It's not just, you're not going to be blowing out people every week.
See, I just
Florida
think
State.
that this was like a classic letdown game. You beat Georgia in a crazy back and forth game last week, and then you turn around and you just, it's Vanderbilt. They're the Commodorks.
Yeah, you overlooked them.
Yeah. Hey, can someone please explain to me how a team in Nashville, Tennessee, how they're like chant is anchor down. There is
didn't know
no
that.
ocean in 500 miles minimum?
Yeah, that might be pushing
There's
it.
no lake? I mean, I guess there's a couple lakes down there, but anchor down? I don't know. That's just weird. I think that Mr. Vanderbilt, like whatever his name was, Cornelius Vanderbilt. I think he might have been like in the Navy or something, and he's who the university's named after and all.
Okay.
But still, that's kind of weird, you know. In Tennessee, I love Tennessee, but anchor down in Tennessee, that's just strange to me.
I mean, they have a river in Tennessee, and I mean that's the goalpost made it to the river there too.
Yeah.
That's a 3-mile walk with those things.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of a boot to the stadium
Yeah.
because they don't play.
They-
Too bad they don't play at the Titan Stadium. It's literally
Oh,
it's
is it
down
right there?
dude. It's down the like 2 blocks type thing.
Tennessee had a better when they threw their goalpost in the river. Tennessee had a shorter walk than that, I think. I don't know where the Knoxville River is compared to the stadium, but it didn't seem like they were that long because ESPN followed them through it. That was through a news organization
Right.
in Nashville.
Gotcha. But I thought Alabama was going to come back when they cut the
did
lead
too.
to 30 to 28, cut it down to 2. I was like, oh, there it is. It's over. And then I looked again and I was like, what? It's 40 to 28? How did this happen? So yeah, that was all.
Didn't they take the lead in the second half?
Alabama?
Yeah.
I don't think so. They were down. No, they were down 30 to 28,
Okay.
and then the comeback or the resurgence, I guess, not a comeback. So fantastic job there by
Yeah. Diego Pavia, the quarterback. And he was effective 16 of 20, 252, and then 65 yards on the ground. So, he did it all himself. And, Milroe didn't play bad. 18 of 24 for 310 yards is by any means not bad, but it was penalties that killed Alabama.
Yeah. Did you see Malachi Moore? Their linebacker, number 13, throwing the world's biggest hissy fit. Oh, dude, he was acting like a complete child over on the sideline.
Oh,
Excuse me, not on the sideline, on the field. Like, he was throwing his mouthpiece and screaming. And at one point, like, he after he made a tackle, he was getting up and then he shoved the
I did see that now.
Vanderbilt player into the ground. And then, like, I don't know, like they were taking longer to set the ball than he wanted to, or he was just mad. Walked over as they're trying to set the football, and he just kicks it.
I do remember seeing that because they got called for a delay game, and that gave Vanderbilt a first down that I think ended up
Officially
icing
sealing it. Yeah. Like, it's terrible. You have to be able to keep your composure. I don't know what you're doing, dude. Like,
NFL scouts watch these games, and
Yeah.
that can very well be a feather against you.
well, and it's like, bro, you guys are in that situation because of yourselves. You let them score 40
Yeah,
points.
the defense
You're
did
on
not
the
help
defense,
out
bro.
the offense at all.
Yeah, so it's like, like the offense probably should have played a little better. They only rushed for 84 yards. That's not good enough.
That's normally what Miller averages himself.
They still average 4 yards a carry, so that's not bad. But, it wasn't as good as what it should have been, but neither was the defense. So,
Yeah. And they got put in a lot of passing situations like them. Alabama couldn't run their Alabama offense.
yeah, man, I love Kalen DeBoer, but he's got to clean that up. You can't have attitude issues like that. That's going to pull the team apart. Next game I got is the
I was about to
Buckeyes.
say, did you see Pat McAfee ripping on his shirt? Because Pat McAfee said he would look like he got that shirt at Baby Gap because it was so tight on DeBoer. He goes, you got to look a little bit more professional than that. If you're going to lose to Vanderbilt, you got to at least have a sweatshirt like Saban would have had. I was like,
No, I didn't see
I
it.
want to see. Now I
That's
can't wait to
awesome.
watch College Game Day this week to see, because McAfee or somebody's going to poke at Saban for that.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah, so on to the Buckeye Iowa Hawkeye game. Man, that was annoying. Iowa had so many opportunities to make plays, but their offense sucks.
Can't count on Cade McNamara.
So bad. The offense sucks so bad. I'll say it again. The offense sucks so bad. Oh, yeah. Wasn't there all this rumbling that this Caleb Johnson guy was the best running back in college football? And in the first half, he had like 8 rushes for 10 yards. Mm-hmm. Huh. All right. I was just...
Finished under 100.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about another good running back, the actual best running back in college football, a little bit later. I think he might be the leader for the Heisman right now. I don't know.
He's got my vote.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I just had to talk about that. I thought, real quick, I thought that Iowa had a shot if they scored before halftime because they were able to hold Ohio State down before halftime. But then, because I watched about a quarter-ish of the game, but then I don't know who were the announcers, who was doing it. I have no clue. One of them said that the Buckeyes got that ball coming out of half, so I was like, they have to score, because if not, they're going to get hit with an avalanche coming out of halftime, and they can't come back from 2 scores.
Yeah.
So I was like, they don't have Cooper DeJean back there returning kicks anymore, and that was their only chance to come back from 2. The offense could do 1, and Cooper could do 1.
Yeah, the Ohio State defense, I mean, they scored a touchdown, or the defense helped give a short field. I mean, scoring a touchdown at 9:34 and then right around at 10:59 in the third quarter. And, I mean, you get up 3 scores on Iowa, you can kind of say it's over. Because McNamara, he was 14 of 20, but for 98 yards. So, yeah, no offense at all. And it didn't help. I mean, Caleb Johnson put a target on his back. I mean, he said before the game I think it was the Iowa school paper or something, that he's playing with a chip on his shoulder because Ohio State didn't offer him anything because he was from Hamilton. It's like, you're going to call out a defense, and so you get 89 yards. You averaging over 115 a game, and now you get 89. You pissed off Ohio State's line, and they made you pay for it.
Good job, Caleb.
Now to the second upset of the game of the weekend, and that was within about a 20-minute time differential.
Tennessee and the Razorbacks have a dance, and the Razorbacks won. Nico Iamaleava looked like a rookie freshman quarterback.
A rookie freshman backup JV, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, frankly, he it's not like he was terrible, but he also was not good. He didn't make it. He didn't make any plays.
And then the last play that was the last one. I mean, he held on to it forever, and then it was like 4th and whatever from the. I don't even know where they were on the field. I mean, he could have thrown it for a touchdown, but he just kept running it, and then he just took 2 steps past the line of scrimmage and went out of bounds. It's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You got to throw the ball into the end zone. I don't know, but upsets
out there
all
looking
over.
Like Dan Orlovsky.
Oh God, that's just walking out of the back of the end zone. Jared Allen sitting there pointing, waiting for the ref. It's like, are you gonna call it? Are you? Because the ref took a minute. Georgia gets back against Auburn.
That was highly expected.
Yeah. Georgia started slow, so I mean, and that's kind of what they've been all year. So it's like, I know it. I mean, they kept a chunk of their offense with the line and Carson Beck and that, but I mean, it's showing missing Brock Bowers and the Chargers, McConkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it definitely shows missing 2 of those big pieces from their team from last year.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely agree with that. On to the next one, Penn State.
I don't have to say anything about that.
UCLA's
bad. Penn State didn't start slow, so I guess that's a point.
The offense been pretty good this year. I mean, they did start slow. They didn't score in the first quarter.
The second quarter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But the offense has been a lot better this year. Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe the Nittany Lions float around and maybe Boise State plays them
Who
in
they play
the
this week?
in the playoffs. That would be a draw I would be excited for. I would be over the moon for that.
And you guys will get home field because you're the Group of 5 champion, wouldn't you?
I don't think we'd get home field because we'd be the lower seed.
Oh.
I think that's how it works.
Oh.
Next
Miami
game.
Cal.
I tell you what, Miami didn't want to win that thing.
No, they had to come back from 10 down with I think 6 or 7 minutes left in the fourth.
Jared,
Scored 21 in the fourth.
I was going to say it was more than 10 down. The Cal only scored 3 in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up winning by 1. I tell you what.
Cam Ward.
Ashton Genty is the Heisman leader, but Cam Ward, that guy is a gamer.
Yeah, he's been. I mean, they're undefeated this year. He's been
I haven't actually looked at the numbers.
virtually flawless. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 interceptions on the year to. Oh God, that's a lot of touchdowns. 5, 9, 11, 13, 14, 16 to 5. So not a bad touchdown to interception ratio. I wish ESPN would just add them all up.
It's 20 to 5.
20 to 5.
Yeah. There's a
Missouri?
career stats place.
Oh.
But so
2,200 passing yards.
Yep.
Just under 70% completion.
Yeah, I was gonna say he kind of doing the Jaden Daniels routine from last year. He's not running the ball nearly as much though, so that's the big difference. But yeah, he's been awesome.
They don't have to play Clemson in the regular season either. I just looked at their schedule. That would be a good game. That's probably the ACC championship game.
My cousin Isaiah Horton, number 2, had 9 catches for 9 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. I'm kidding. He's not actually my cousin. I don't have a cousin that's 6'4".
Oh.
And a super athlete.
Or that's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee?
Murfreesboro?
Murfreesboro?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nah, definitely not.
Let's see. Next one going down. Missouri, done. You don't deserve to be in the top 12 consideration at all.
Yeah,
Getting your butts kicked like that.
I know it was bad, but I mean, you won't say that in a week, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks if they beat Alabama. So.
We're gonna have to play with the playoff predictor too again.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Because I mean, if Missouri, I don't think it'll happen, especially after I saw them against A&M. But if Alabama has 2 losses, I mean, where would that put them in the final 12 consideration? Obviously, I don't think it'll put them in the because that's one. They already have 1 conference loss. Do they play Texas this year?
The 11? The 12?
Let's see. They got Tennessee, Missouri, and Oklahoma are ranked. Oh, and LSU are ranked teams left. Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like if you only lose one of those games, you're still okay.
Let me pull up the playoff predictor. And then, but yeah, nothing else really. I mean,
Michigan lost again. Now what they're playing for is for the game at the end of the season. Trying to play spoilers.
They're playing to get done with their season. Which I will say, because I watched the game because Jim watches the game.
Yep.
They brought in this, and he got the nickname Old Man Tuttle because this is his 7th year of eligibility. But he looked good. I mean, he looked decent. He went down, scored on his 2 plays, or on his 2 possessions in the first half. And I think that might be the answer for them at quarterback the rest of the year. Jack Tuttle, not Sean Tuttle, sorry. I mean, he was 10 of 18 for 98 yards. I mean,
See, I was hearing whispers about him. I think he's dealt with a lot of injuries. That's why he's been in college for so long. Yeah, so he can stay healthy. You know, they're probably out of playoff contention, but they can make noise and
yeah, they're not in the top.
Hurt the Buckeyes at the end of the year.
There you go. I mean, I know Michigan fans that say they just hope that they can keep Ohio State under 60. Let's scroll back down. Minnesota beat USC. I'm so mad because I took Minnesota with the 8.5 points, and I was hesitant on before I went to just pick them outright because USC coming across the country, but I was like, no, I'll just take the points, and my payday would have been a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm. No, that's for sure. Lincoln Riley just always dropping games. Fall to 2-3 or 3-2.
Ole Miss bounces back after that Kentucky loss 2 weeks ago, 27-3 over South Carolina. Florida State loses again, and Klubnik, I don't know how to read him. Some games he looks good. This game he looked horrible, 19 of 35, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm with you.
Let's see, Iowa State. I mean,
Iowa State and Baylor. Dude, so I don't understand. People keep acting like Baylor is good, and then they go out and they get murdered every week. They're 2-4. I've heard so many people try and sit here and I'm pretty sure that I heard Joel Klatt say that Baylor was good, and maybe I don't know. I don't want to be slandering guys. Say that. But I've heard dudes in the gambling world try and sit here and act that Baylor is good, and I'm like, how?
Maybe Baylor's good against the spread. Let's see. Are any of their nope. 7-point loss to Colorado, 8-point loss to BYU, or 6-point loss to BYU.
So I guess not murdered in some of these, but I mean,
they're murdering teams that they should be. I mean, they beat Tarleton State 45-3 and Air Force 31-3. But yeah, I mean Baylor. I mean they haven't been good since Matt Rule was there.
Yeah.
And I would say, I mean they weren't horrible. I mean they were ranked in the low 20s when he was there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Iowa State put the beat down on them.
Mm-hmm. Iowa State. Let me look at the conference standings for the Big 12. They're first overall. No, sorry. They are third overall because, Texas Tech hasn't had a bye yet.
Mm-hmm.
But BYU and Iowa State right there both at 2-0, and do they play each other? No, they don't. So that could potentially throw a wrench in there. Utah, they're 1-1. Who'd they lose to? Oh, Arizona. Last week. 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, it looks like it might be between the Cougars and the Cyclones, at least for now.
So then next up, that's my game. Boise State. You want to pull up the graphic real quick? My man Ashton Genty, talked about him a lot. These were his a couple of his betting odds going into last week's game.
Ohio needs to change it because I want to bet on this kid.
I know, man.
I would have bet that he would be, what's that, touchdown score? Yeah, touchdown score, yes. First 2 touchdown scores, yes.
That's just to score 2 touchdowns. That's not first 2.
I thought it was,
No,
I would play him for first 2.
No, I'm with you. I am with you.
But yeah.
Nah, pull it back up so I can actually read them.
Get you a pair of glasses.
Yeah, touchdown score, minus 3,500.
So what, you bet on that, you get 3 cents back?
Yes, yes. I don't know what the second one means. Oh, first. The second one is first touchdown score. Okay, gotcha.
And that's
plus 130.
I feel like that should be negative now.
It should have been negative, but hey, it's just too bad that Ohio doesn't allow us to bet on college player stats anymore.
So I wonder if I go across the border to Richmond and verify my location, can I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
should be able to.
We need to make a road trip on Saturday. Go to Richmond.
Just win some quick cash. Go and hit up Roosters or something out there.
Is that a national thing?
No, but it's regional.
Oh, okay.
So on the very first play of the game, a 64-yard touchdown, something like that. He ended up only playing the first half, 13 carries, $186, and 3 touchdowns.
So I would have lost because I would have bet over on that 199 or 195 or whatever it was.
Well, when you outscore the opponent 49-17 in the first half.
Ouch.
Yeah, we only scored 13 points in the second. Really
So did they.
took the that's true. Really took the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Figured we hurt them enough early.
Ease up, yeah.
Yeah. So, but that being said,
All right, let's just go and start playing with the predictor. We'll look at
Oh, okay. So before we actually do that, though, he is on pace to break Barry Sanders' all-time record.
I'm waiting for DraftKings and FanDuel to start putting out bets to see if he will, because I think he will. He's at
Barry Sanders had like 2,600 yards, and through 5 games in which he's sat out an entire game, like he sat out 2 second halves, he has over 1,000 yards. It's like 1,031, and Barry had like 1,016 through 5 games.
let me find it, because I don't share things on Instagram because you see them and I don't want you to know my stats I'm asking. Okay, so this was Genty versus the last 3 running back Heisman winners. Do you know who the last 3 running back Heisman winners were?
Well, Reggie.
Mm-hmm. He was 2005.
Oh.
That's the furthest one back, so.
Did Derrick Henry win one?
Mm-hmm. 2015.
Mark Ingram?
29.
Okay,
2009.
yeah. Those are my boys, so.
So, Reggie Bush threw 5 games in his Heisman season. 601 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 71 carries. Mark Ingram, 487 yards, 6 touchdowns, 83 carries. Henry, 570, 9 touchdowns, and 93 carries? That's not a lot of yards for carries output. Genty is at 1,031, 16 touchdowns, and 95 carries. So he's averaging
10.9 yards a carry.
You must.
I know his stats.
Okay.
Yes. And yeah, he's minus 225 to win the Heisman this year. So I'm hoping and I'm praying, boys and girls, that Boise State can get their first Heisman Trophy winner.
Before we go to the Heisman, we'll just SMU upset Louisville, which I don't really consider it an upset because Louisville had the worst record. They just ranked. They should have fell out after losing to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Losing to Notre Dame. And then Indiana still on a roll. 6-0 to start the year. Now up to 18th ranked, highest they've ever been ranked in program history. So, like the Hoosiers.
So you know that every single one of those road upsets that every single one of those upsets this weekend, the top 25 upsets, were on the road?
Oh, the team that lost? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that. All right.
Something that we should have thought about coming in, guys.
All right, so now we're going to look at this week, and I'm going to pick a lot of road teams, and I'm going to lose. All right, so we'll start with your Boise State Broncos. And I don't see them losing. These get back up here. 62 to 38, 78 to 22, and 83 to 17 are your tougher games left they have. And UNLV is what, 4-1?
Yeah, good team.
They don't have their quarterback anymore.
Actually, the backup might be better.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Will Boise State win its conference championship? Of course. So that gives them a 99% chance to make the playoffs, almost an 80% chance to.
See, I don't believe that. That's garbage. They
put them at the 4 seed.
Yeah, but they're not going to give a group of 5 team that much respect. They won't do it.
This one doesn't have Alabama in it. All right, let's go back up here. Now let's look at Texas. Ooh, that changed a lot. I think Texas will beat Georgia. If it's Arch Manning or if it's Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, Texas is just so good.
Did they just have to throw a game in there?
Maybe, yeah.
They could have put the Oklahoma game in there. It'll probably be about the same, 85 to 15. And I think, they'll beat A&M too, I think. That they should be undefeated. They should all be, yeah. And that.
Is them the number 1 overall?
Number 1 overall and losing. to Ole Miss. Which, I mean, when you get down into that, it's hard to beat a team 2 times in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Or at some point you could play. I mean, with the teams going away from the format or their conference format, you could play a team 3 times in 1 year.
Right.
If they're that lucky. Now let's look at Bama.
I think they'll beat UT.
Okay.
I think that they should win all of these games. The
Okay.
LSU one they could lose, but I think they should win all of them.
See, with 1 loss, I'd have to see where that would put them. Let's just say they don't win the title game, because if they do, they probably have to play Texas. Oh, jeez. It still gives them a decent chance.
It has them
What?
losing to Georgia.
All right. Got them playing Tulane. So that means they don't have Boise in this one? Nah.
It's garbage. Tulane's already got 2 or 3
I want
losses.
to go down here now. Let's look at Army. They only have Army?
21% chance.
Where's Navy? They're undefeated too. Well, let's look at Armies.
Let's say they win all of them.
Yeah,
That'd be
I'm
wild.
rooting for them against
That'd be
Notre Dame.
amazing if they beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, they would win. Watch them. Nope, where'd they lose?
Army would not get a first-round bye. Get out of here. Get out of
Well,
here.
let's see. Who do they have there? So they got Ohio
Dude, there is
State,
no situation. There's no situation where
Big
Army would
Ten,
get a first-round
ACC.
bye.
SEC.
Big 12.
They don't have a Big 12.
Yeah, their
Where
thingy's
is
a
the
little
Big 12?
messed up.
Yeah, they're going to have to work on that.
Wait a minute. Is there even a Big 12 team on there? No.
Oh, you guys beat Alabama.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
No.
Oh, that's ACC?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah.
my bad.
So, yeah, they don't have a Big 12. Dang. All right. Hey, but you guys beat Alabama.
Well, that's wild.
I'll
Hey,
take that.
Me too.
All right, we'll be done with that. Because that's not as up to date as I thought.
On to this week.
On to this week. All right, where are we going? Let's see. We got number 1, Oklahoma, or number 1 Texas playing Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl.
The Red River rivalry.
First edition in the ACC. Texas by 14.5. I think you can take Texas minus the points.
Yes, I agree.
Number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Oregon. Game day will be in town. I wonder who the guest picker will be.
I don't know.
It might be, well, no, she's in the WNBA Finals. I was going to say it might be Sabrina, played at Oregon.
No, okay. Yeah,
they can zoom her
that
in.
would have been cool. Well, I'm picking the Ducks. I want to see that Duck's arms fall off by how many push-ups he's got to do.
Number 4, Penn State at USC. Penn State minus 4.
That game was only 3 points. Wow. All right, I'll take it. Yeah, Penn State is minus 5. Wow, they're up to 4. I didn't notice that.
Oh, then that changed in the last hour and a half since I wrote this down. They were at minus 4.
I think I'll take Penn State, but
Okay, we disagree on 1.
That one's
2 so far. That's more than what we have, I think, in the last 3 weeks combined.
yeah. Maybe we'll have better results this time.
Mississippi at Georgia. Nope. Georgia. Yeah, Georgia is 34-point favorites.
What's that coming down the track?
Not Mississippi State. Alabama hosting South Carolina. I'm gonna take Alabama, but I wonder if South Carolina can. I think South Carolina can keep it within 25.
Roll Tide. It's gonna be bad.
Florida at Tennessee. Florida just sucks.
Yes.
So
There's no better way to put that.
Ole Miss at LSU. I'm going LSU.
think so.
You too.
Yeah, but they're inconsistent, but.
Night game in Death Valley. Iowa State at West Virginia. I picked West Virginia to beat Penn State earlier this year, and they made me look like a fool. I don't think I can pick them anymore. So I'm taking Iowa State.
Yeah, the West Virginia isn't the West Virginia of old. When they had Rich Rod.
That was a long time ago.
It was.
Stanford at Notre Dame. I'm taking Notre Dame.
I don't want to, but I have to.
Arizona at BYU. I'm taking Arizona.
I'm taking BYU. They're pretty good this year. I like this BYU team. Noah Fafita with a 7 and 6 touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah, he got to work. Come on, you got to work on that. Let's see.
And they do have one of the best wide receivers in the country, though. And Tavion McMillan, I think that's his name, right? I know it's McMillan.
Yeah. Utah at Arizona State. I'm gonna take the Utes.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know how to say his first name. He's from Hawaii. What game was it?
Utah and Arizona State. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Utes. Even though I don't know what's going on at quarterback.
I don't have to ask you about Boise State.
You know that.
Against Hawaii.
You know that. As long as we don't have too much fun playing on the beach before the game. Ashton Genty should get. Maybe.
I was just looking at it to see if I could pronounce it.
Ashton Genty should get another 200 yards.
Boise State. What, is he going to get it in the first half this week so he doesn't have to play the second half?
I hope. I want him to go for 3 one week. And just speed up the pace.
I mean, I guess it is just.
Would you imagine him run for 3,000 yards?
That would be insane. He'd be a first round pick.
Oh, he's already a first round pick.
I mean, I meant first overall. Sorry.
Maybe.
Well, yeah. Who going in the next? Because he's not. I don't think he's going to go this year.
Why not? I wouldn't be shocked. I hope he stays, but I'd be shocked if he did.
Kansas State and Colorado. I'm going K-State.
Yeah. My boy Avery Johnson looked really good last week. That young Thor.
Mizzou at UMass. If it was anybody else but UMass, I think I might take the opponent, but not UMass is barely a basketball school, so.
They're 1-5 on the season.
Who'd they beat?
I'll tell you. It was Coastal Connecticut, I think. CC.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and Central Connecticut Blue Devils.
That's even worse than Coastal. Who they got the rest of the year? Missouri, Wagner. Oh, Mississippi State will get a win. Liberty, Georgia, UConn. All right, there we go. California at Pitt. I'm taking Pitt. Cal going cross country to play a conference game.
Against a good Pitt team.
Yeah.
Pat Narduzzi. Every time we talk about Pitt, I got to bring him up.
I was reading in that magazine at the beginning of the year. He might be on the hot seat a little bit. I think he's kind of turned those off a little bit. Now ranked 22 in the nation.
Yeah, they've turned it up.
And then Purdue at Illinois. Purdue sucks. So, Illini.
Yep. The Fighting Illini. I was excited because Boise State finally got in the Coaches Bowl, up to 21. Went from unranked to 21. So that's great. And up to 17 in the AP. Moving up.
All right.
I get another handful of upsets. We might be in the top 12 by the end of the week.
Did we pick any upsets down there?
I
picked Arizona over BYU. That could be.
Well, it's not an upset, but Oklahoma. Never mind, they're already below us.
If if LSU beats Ole Miss.
If Stanford beats Notre Dame.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, like you said, Arizona, BYU. Yeah.
Utah, Arizona State is Friday night, so that could be.
Oh, LSU or Old Miss. Yeah. I think you might have just said that, but either of those teams could fall depending on how the game.
I was about to say if it's a close loss.
If West Virginia beats Iowa State,
I don't know.
They probably be gone.
Iowa or West Virginia.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying like those are the options.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. So let's see. Now can college football live up to last weekend? This weekend?
Well, it's probably going to be a bunch of boring games. It's going to be terrible this week.
All right. So moving over now to the NFL.
And talk about having some great football games.
Yeah. It was a good one on Thursday night. Bucks and Falcons going to overtime.
Dude, I turned it off with like a minute left or whatever. So I was like, it's over. Yeah. And then, like, my uncle, like, 40 minutes later, or maybe half an hour later, was like, this has been a crazy game or something. And I was like, wait a minute, hasn't it been over for a while? And I looked at the box score, and I was like, wait a minute, how did the Falcons win? This is incredible.
On a night that Matt Ryan goes into the Falcons Ring of Honor, Kirk Cousins breaks his single-game passing record.
505, 4 TDs, and a pick. Threw the ball 58 times off of a repaired Achilles. 42 for 58. That's good for the old man. A lot of completions, man. Drake London, my gosh, imagine having him in fantasy. 12 catches for $150 and a touchdown. But wait a minute, you don't even have to imagine because you had the highest scoring man in fantasy this week. Jamar Chase?
Oh.
I don't know how many catches he had, but it was for like $150, $170, and 2 touchdowns.
10 for, I'd say 193. Yeah.
Dude, Jamar Chase had an incredible week. We'll get there, though. But then Baker, he also had, he actually didn't have a lot of yards.
No, they kind of ran it. I mean, it seemed like it was about a 50-50 call.
It actually pretty much was.
Was? Oh, okay.
I mean, it was 26 rushes to 24 passes.
Right.
Yeah, so it was almost 50-50.
But I mean, nobody stood out. I mean, there was no.
That's wild.
I mean, Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns, but that was about it. Who else had the other one? Sterling Ship. Yeah, the guy, Cardell Hodge, who had the game-winning catch.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go back and look it up, but I swear I heard Al Michaels say that those were his first 2 catches in his career. And he's been in the league for, I thought they said, this is his 5th season.
He's 29. And yes, I don't see any other stats for him ever.
All right. 1 of your 2 catches is a game winner in overtime on Thursday night. There you go. The Jets.
Those are his first 2 targets. He's only been thrown to twice.
Oh, geez, that's not good. The Jets go falling down in London. It's bad, and they fired their coach because of it.
Man, I tell you what, and Sam Darnold, they keep winning. And he doesn't have, like, the world's greatest stats, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's good. 1,011 yards. The completion percentage, 63%. Good, not great.
Yeah.
But
he cleared the ghost out of his head.
Doing enough, just chugging along.
Garrett Wilson had a coming out game, though.
Yeah.
That's his best. I think that's the first time he's went over 60 yards receiving this year.
It is. Aaron Jones got hurt in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad it is, but I'm pretty sure he's going to miss some time. So that's not good.
No. We don't get to play the slip and slide video again.
I got to say, before we're done with the Jets, I'm so mad that they didn't make Nathaniel Hackett the interim head coach. I wanted them to do that so bad.
Who'd they make the interim?
The DC.
Oh.
I wanted them to do that so bad just so I can make more fun of them. Yeah, I know. I'm sad about not getting to do the slip and slide video. The greatness of Andy Dalton wore off.
That's all. I mean, I didn't really watch that game. I didn't look at that game for stats either.
Yeah, I don't watch the Bears.
I don't either.
Um,
All right, so I guess that brings us to
the game of the week. It was a good one. Back and forth and back and forth. Bengals really should have had that one. The secondary just sucks. I mean, it's really bad.
Then you lost Dax Hill was it for the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tore his ACL. That's not good. But T. Higgins, 9 for 83, 2 touchdowns. Jamar, you said it a minute ago, 10 for $193 and 2 touchdowns. They're both awesome. Andre Yoshivash only had 1 catch for 39. Awesome.
No touchdown?
Yeah, no touchdown.
I'd say he had like a string of
He's
like
a machine,
3 games
man.
in a row.
He's a machine. Normally catching touchdown passes. Didn't really run the ball well. And we did a good job pretty much the whole game on them, running the ball. You know, it's always hard to keep down Lamar because he's so shifty and everything. But Derrick Henry, before that last play, only had 41 yards.
Yeah.
He picked up 51 on the last play. But you're in tough shape when you let Lamar Jackson throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns against you. Joe Burrow, he said he had to be perfect. He almost was. And if he doesn't throw that interception, we probably win the game. But at the same time, you can't blame him for losing the game because, well,
He played virtually flawless.
the defense let up 41 points, and that's just not acceptable. Yeah, the one interception was a backbreaker, and if it's not for that, then we don't go to overtime, and we just win straight up. And you know, Bengals fans feel a whole lot different than they do right now. But yeah, very frustrating. But I don't think it's over. I don't. You know, I posted after like we lost the game 3 or whatever. I was like, well, that's a wrap. But the offense is playing so well that it's like if the defense can just figure it out.
I mean,
You look at the next 4 or 5 games.
right.
Giants should smoke them.
should.
I don't think that they'll be able to score a ton of points against us. But Browns, they typically have our number.
Where's
But
it at?
it's at the Browns. But that defense is not nearly as good as what it's been the last couple years.
And Deshaun is
So we can get that one. That would get us back to
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yeah. Then the Eagles.
The Eagles are not the Eagles anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
4 and 4.
Can get that one. Then the Raiders.
5 and 4.
And it's like you don't want to be 5 and 4, but if you're 5 and after the start to the season, and then you're 5 and 4 rolling in
I was about to say, let's just grow out the rest of the schedule.
to Baltimore the next week. That's week 10.
You gotta beat Baltimore.
You got to win the game. But even if you don't, you're 5 and 5, and let's look at the rest of the schedule. Chargers. That's not an explosive offense. If the offense just keeps firing, what's his name? My
Harbaugh?
nemesis. No. Kirk Cousins has more passing yards on Thursday night than
Herbert?
Justin Herbert has on the season. I heard someone say that earlier. That might not be exactly true, but I know it's close. Frickin'.
So you should win that one.
Got a great chance to win that one. Then come home and play the Steelers. I think we'll split with the Steelers.
All right.
Go to the Cowboys. I'm not afraid of that team. Now, they always somehow beat us. I swear, I'm not sure if the Bengals have beaten the Cowboys in my life, but we should win that game. Then the Titans, the Browns.
You better beat the Titans.
We better beat the Titans. We lose to the mayonnaise man. I might not be here the next week.
No, you're going to sit and eat a whole tub of mayonnaise.
I'm going to have to call Tony. You're my new podcast partner.
For this week. And then you said the
forever.
Browns. You'll beat the Browns. You should beat the Browns in Cincinnati.
Broncos, after that, Steelers, and that's the season. So it's like I said, it was not a fun start. It's been bad. But like this thing, we can definitely turn it around. And here's the craziest part. In week 2, the Bengals defense held Patrick Mahomes to a career low passing yards. And then since then, I mean, everybody just looks like Patrick Mahomes, like, against us. And the pass rush, we got to find a way. And I get it, a lot of the guys along the defensive line have been hurt so far. But we got to find a way to get a pass rush. The last 3 weeks have been, three of the lowest rated pass rush, like PFF pass rush graded weeks, like, as a whole team on the season. And the Commanders game, I think I heard him say on my way in that it was the 7th worst recorded pass rush game ever by PFF.
Ooh.
This is no pressure. It's not happening at all. So gotta be able to get after the quarterback, gotta be able to stop the run, and gotta be able to, like, not get burned, like, in the secondary. There's a lot of things, and I think some of them can be cleaned up as we get deeper into the season. I think, what's his name? Sheldon Rankins. I heard he was getting back to practice today, so that should be a big help there on the defensive line, because as a nose tackle, he's also a pretty good pass rusher. So that should help things. Just got to continue to get healthier and hopefully maybe catch a break or two down the stretch. I don't know.
I don't have to talk about the Dolphins-Patriots. Those are bad teams and not good. That should be the Thursday night game. Nobody wants to watch that. Commanders, Jaden Daniels, the division-leading Commanders.
Just cooking, man.
Rout the Browns.
He's just cooking. And the thing that scared me was, would he be able to stay healthy and not take the hits?
5 games, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's only 5 games, but he's smart. He gets down at the right times. He's been able to avoid all those big hits so far. I hope he can keep doing it. I love Jaden Daniels.
Old man Flacco tried to work his magic.
Almost. And Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars finally got up off the mat. The prince that was promised picked up his crown for a week.
I think he still has to find a crown. He just got off the mat.
Tank Bigsby had a great week, though. The backup running back, 13 carries for $101 and 2 touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr. I told everybody, I was like, I don't know how to compare him, where to compare him to. I just think he's going to be a very good wide receiver for a long time. He's been good so far.
Yeah, when Joe Flacco is your leading rusher per average, that's not a good game. So definitely missing Jonathan Taylor in that one.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. Trey Sermons ain't the Trey Sermons he was supposed to be. He had 6 catches for 25 yards. Wow, he actually had a pretty good week in fantasy. Because he also had 40 yards and a rushing touchdown, so that turns out to be pretty good.
Texans win on a last-second field goal, a 60-yarder by Fairbairn.
I was going to say, Kai Fairbairn, man. That's his thing.
Broncos just destroyed the Raiders. Didn't really think I'd say that, but I didn't think I'd say the Broncos would be 3-2 either.
Did you see the video of...
Yes.
I don't...
Max Crosby.
No, not that one.
Oh.
No, the post-game one when Bo Nix was
I think I did see
Sean
that.
Payton was talking to... Said someone asked him, like, what were you saying to Bo Nix or whatever, and I don't remember what he said, but it was something like, he's young, he's got a lot to learn. I was just telling him that I loved him. And then they went and asked Bo Nix, and he was like, oh, man, he was just telling me that he loved me, and I was telling him that I loved him. And, I mean, the video was insanely intense. He's shouting, he's screaming. They were not telling each other that they loved each other. That's for sure.
There was a few other choice words in there.
I'm sure quite a few other choice words.
But the Max Crosby one was funnier than that. He yelled at Bo that the receivers don't know, or it was the receivers or the linemen didn't know what he was calling or something. He tells them, yell up or speak up.
Yeah, that was funny too. Yeah, good. It wasn't a good game. Got some good sound bites.
Kyler leads a comeback against the 49ers.
What is going on in 49er land?
It is. I don't know.
Well, and the worst part is, you hear the news about McCaffrey?
Yeah, I think we talked about that last week.
Oh, did we? Bilateral Achilles tendonitis?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
He ain't playing this year.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Damn you, Madden curse.
Oh, man, I mean, that just, my knees and legs are hurting just talking. Bilateral Achilles tendonitis? Get well soon, buddy.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason's doing a good job in replacement, but he's not that guy. And
actually-
Brandon Ayuk, thank the good Lord, he finally showed up, 8 for $147. Good job, man. And
Mason-
paid you a lot of money. You finally did something.
Mason actually he broke the record for most yards in the first 5 games of the season for the 49ers. It's like, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, man's been chugging along.
Yeah, the Rams, they just can't get out of their own way.
536.
They hurt too much.
I know. They're just falling to pieces.
Daniel Jones. He's turned something around. He looks a whole lot better than what he did last year.
Dude, I can't
And the year
decide.
before-
I can't decide week to week what's going on with Geno this year. Like, do we get good Geno? Do we get bad Geno? And he didn't play bad, but like when we get good Geno, they win games, and it's. I mean, what are they? 2-3, or are they 3-2? Is it flipped the other way?
Who?
The
Seahawks are 3-2.
okay, so they are
Giants
3-2.
are 2-3.
You got 1,400 passing yards. I mean, the guy's throwing it all around the yard. Probably leading the league in yards?
He is.
I was gonna say I didn't.
He's first. Dak is like 40 behind him.
Gotcha. The 5 touchdown 4 interception ratio ain't what you'd like it to be, but hey, he's fun to watch, man. I'm glad that he was able to get out of New York and turn things around.
Dallas Sunday Night Football game ends on Monday night after the 2-hour
Rain delay,
lightning delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prescott throws it to Tolbert. 20 seconds left to win.
Yeah, I really thought the Steelers were gonna win that one. I could not stay up all night to watch that game. I didn't.
I was off the next day, so I could.
I mean, I could have. I just didn't care
Oh.
enough to stay up and watch it.
Yeah.
I turned it off like around midnight. I was like,
Dak
this
had
is
2 interceptions and a fumble, 3 turnovers total. The one thing about Tolbert was on the 3rd down play, they threw it to him in the back of the end zone, and he kind of looked like when he went to dive for it, his arm got caught behind him, and he's sitting there running to the huddle like this, holding his arm, and Collinsworth is saying, "Oh well, he might be faking it." It's like, dude, he's sitting there running to the huddle like this. He ain't faking it. But I don't know what they did. Dallas called their last timeout, and on 4th down, they threw it to him right across the end zone, right across the line. Granted, he caught it one-handed like this. He wasn't using that left hand, but I mean, it was a wild game. They were talking about Russell Wilson might be able to start practicing this week, and
he's not getting his job.
oh, he's not.
I don't think so. No, like
No,
Justin
Fields is doing enough.
He's not been terrible. I think they need better play calling. They need to be a little more aggressive and
Arthur Smith.
let him do some more stuff. But I think he's been pretty good. He's my starter in fantasy.
Yeah.
Not doing too bad for me.
And then the Chiefs, they just.
I didn't watch that game. Not 1 second of it.
I was watching the baseball.
I was like, there's no reason. Like, the Saints are never going to beat the Chiefs. Not with Dennis Allen.
Not when
and
Derek Carr throws an
Carr.
interception on the second play of the game. Because I was at B-Dubs, and I was watching the Yankees and heard, who was Monday night? Joe Buck calling the interception. I looked over and it's like, oh, and then they returned it. I was like, oh God, turn that one off.
Kareem Hunt found the youth, man. 27 rushes for $102 and a touchdown.
He was on my fantasy team for a long time.
Yeah, he was. And then he became not useful, and now he's useful again. Juju. Hey, the resurgence, man. 7 for $130. Good for him. Mm-hmm. He's going to be doing those TikToks again.
Oh, God, I hope not. He'd get a lot more popularity if he gets one with Taylor Swift.
His team was not as good when he was doing the TikToks.
That is true.
So keep doing the TikToks.
So you know that big lineman that intercepted Mahomes' pass off the Travis Kelce deflection?
Yes.
You know what I'm going to say?
Huh.
You know his brother is a backup dancer for Taylor Swift?
No way.
Yeah. I thought you knew that. That's why you were saying yes. Yeah, his brother is a backup dancer for Taylor Swift on tour.
That's incredible. You know, the only thing that I wish would have, the only other thing, man, it would have been really cool if he could have returned that for a touchdown. That would have been.
That's a big guy trying to get down the field.
It is.
I figured.
But it still would have been fun. But
yeah.
The outcome I wish would have happened, and this sounds terrible, I wish he would have landed pancaked right on top of Patrick Mahomes. I wish Patrick was the one that tackled
Patrick
him.
trying to tackle him, and he messes up a leg or something. That would open up the AFC West. That would open.
Just knock him out for a week or two. Lower the record down a little bit. I don't want him actually hurt. Just,
Yeah.
dinged up bad enough he might miss a game.
All right, so I made some graphics this week. Again, now we're gonna.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Now we're gonna play a little bit of how hot is their seat, and like I told you before we came on, I made these Monday before Robert Saleh got fired, so his seat is boiling. Well, he don't have a seat no more. He's not at the table.
I wish that you could have. You got to work on your editing skills. Do a Photoshop of him running out the door with his pants on fire. Because he was sitting on the seat. He was sitting on the hot seat.
At least they fired him when he got home from London and not fired him and like, no, you got to find your own way back.
Did you read the report that he had to be escorted out by security?
Oh, jeez.
Now, then there was another report that came out almost immediately and refuted that. So I don't know what the situation was.
Oh.
But he definitely was not allowed to address the team about his firing and all. So that's kind of odd. But
I mean, he kind of had to see it coming. I mean, he wasn't that great in his 4 years there. I mean,
yeah, but they did have an offense, and that's not his fault.
I know.
He's a defensive-minded head coach, and the defense was always good. So
he'll get a job somewhere as a DC next year.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of those coordinators are just better as coordinators.
Well, and the problem is, it's like, in today's world, it's hard to be a defensive-minded head coach. You got to be offensive-oriented because either way, if the offense is bad, you got a problem. But at least if you're an offensive head coach, then you
really got a problem.
Ideally, you know how to fix it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
A defensive head coach is not going
to fix Aaron Rodgers sucking this year.
Well, and I don't think it's necessarily all on Aaron Rodgers. But yeah.
First one I can point a finger at.
Yeah. All right. But so yeah.
Yeah, he's at the table. He don't have a seat at the table no more to be hot.
Gone.
Doug Peterson.
His seat is about as hot. He might have been the first one gone if they didn't win this past week.
I was about to say, if they didn't win, I think he could be gone. I still think he'll be gone by the end of the year. We'll see if it's before the season ends.
Yeah, see how things end up.
Who do they play this week?
They play the Bears.
Oh, in London.
No, I'm picking the Bears. Excuse me.
What?
I'm picking the Jags.
Andy's picking the Bears?
No, I'm picking the Jags. I didn't mean to say that. I did not mean to say that.
All right.
But then they play the Patriots, Packers.
That should be 3 wins in a row.
They play the Packers after that, so
That's a loss.
Probably lose that one. Eagles, Vikings, Lions. Oh, this is tough. This is not easy, that's for sure.
They might fire him before the season.
Colts, Titans, Raiders. That's not necessarily in order. Jets, Titans.
Yeah. All right, next one up. Nick Sirianni.
I was hearing people. It might have been Colin Cowherd. I don't know.
I think he's been one of the ones I've heard that.
It sounds crazy, but people talking about maybe firing him right now, mid-season, and calling in Belichick. Wouldn't that be wild?
I've never seen that happen. Not fire a coach and then you bring in his replacement.
Hey,
I mean, normally that's.
I mean, if it's Bill, why not?
Yeah.
Let
him a chance to.
Defensive-minded head coach, but you get that defense in order. There's so much talent on that offense. Just find someone. Someone will run that thing. Just give the keys to Kellen Moore. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
He's already the OC. So.
Brian Dable.
This one's interesting for me. Because I don't know if he really is on the hot seat. Because he's so good. He went to the playoffs with Daniel Jones. They didn't win a playoff game. He won a playoff game with Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. I think that buys you some time. And Daniel Jones' regression from last year, I don't think that necessarily makes you throw him away. It was a stupid contract. But the 2-3 right now, all right, and they're hopefully they get crushed this week. But you know, like I think they would be much more inclined to cut Daniel Jones at the end of the season, all that dead cap, and keep
maybe
Dable.
try to trade him so you get something
Because
forward.
Dable's good.
Carolina's looking for a quarterback.
I don't think they're looking for Daniel Jones.
I don't think many people are.
Yeah. We're playing Where's Daniel Jones. I don't think anyone's going to find him because I don't know if anyone's looking.
With Chicago having a winning record, I mean, he's kind of been, we've talked about him the last 2 years that he really shouldn't be there. But, I mean, they let him fire his coordinators last year, and he's 3-2 this year. But I'm not a fan of Matt Eberflus. I loved him when he was Indy's coordinator, but he went solo, and I don't know what the hell he's doing.
No, he just has always had a bad offense. He finally has a quarterback that has a chance to be competent.
So you picking him this week?
No.
Let's see who is next.
Look, dude, I will make every pick wrong for the next 10 years on the Bears if need be. Right? I don't care.
You think Mike McDaniel, his seat's getting a little warm down there in Miami?
I don't think so. I suppose it could be, but it just doesn't feel like it is
It's going to
because
be wet after the last 2 hurricanes go through there, but
we'll be gone.
Yeah,
We'll be in the
gotta-
ocean. But no, I don't really think so. I think that
he can't keep a healthy quarterback.
right. So Tua doesn't know how to fall or take hits or
Tua
slide,
can't just take a hit.
any of that stuff. I mean,
Let's see
so
who
I don't think that's on him.
is next. Kevin Stefanski. See, I don't think so. I think this is just the contract and everything with Deshaun Watson. Because, I mean, he's not a bad coach. I mean, he took Baker and him went to the playoffs and almost beat the Chiefs and went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's if you can find somebody who can take Deshaun Watson, because I was watching somebody on an ESPN reel on Instagram talking about if you can find, because it's all guaranteed money. The Browns would probably have an $80 million cut against the space. But I saw something they use Carolina because they have the most dead cap space. If you can take and trade like Deshaun Watson and say your number 1 pick for a draft, not necessarily this year, but maybe next year, whatever, and then let Carolina cut Deshaun and they'd only have to eat like a $40 million cut, that's about the only way that I see them getting away from Deshaun, because he ain't going to win them a game. You want to know his lawsuits to touchdowns?
Oh, no.
25 lawsuits to 18 touchdowns in his time with Cleveland.
No way.
Yes.
That's passing or total?
Total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think that's Stefanski's fault.
No. Not your fault that Deshaun is a bad human being. None of these are kind of, because I Googled the hotness level, and these were the ones who were kind of the lowest ones. Jim wants McCarthy gone.
That's not shocking. I don't think Jim ever liked McCarthy.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know. He's not a bad coach.
Belichick's going to go to Dallas.
We'll see.
That'd be the franchise that could pay him the most money.
Right, but Belichick is not good at offense, and they do not have a good offense. I mean, the defense would be great.
Yeah. So get Kellen Moore back on the phone. Come back here. You can be the quarterback if you want. We paid Dak too much.
Hey, you'll get me rooting for the Cowboys if Kellen Moore's suiting up.
Well, he did for a couple games. He started a couple, I think, when Romo was hurt.
Did he?
I think so.
I'll look it up after the show.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not a bad coach, but you have high expectations. And
he ain't going to get you past the first round of the playoffs. I about said first round of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He ain't getting you to the Super Bowl. I don't think this team ain't getting you to the Super Bowl.
Well, they're the Cowboys, so they're allergic.
Yeah. And then I don't agree with this one, but I saw a bunch of Bengals fans over this season.
I don't hate it because, like, I don't know. I don't like his play calling a lot of times. And, like, in overtime, we stopped him on 4th down. I think we picked up maybe 1 first down, and then we just run the ball 3 times up the middle and settle for a 53-yard field goal. Why are we not trying to make that a 35-yard field goal? You make the field goal, the game is over. Why are we intentionally making it a hard field goal? And like one of my friends, I was sitting there watching the game with somebody, and somebody was like, "Oh, well, McPherson, he's 5 for 5 like all the time or something on game-winning 50-yard field goals." I'm like, I don't care.
Don't rely on it.
If you're 100 for 100.
Justin Tucker was that, and he's missed quite a few field goals this year.
Yeah.
Brandon Audrey had made like 28 straight under 50, and he missed one against the Giants last week.
Yeah.
Ended that streak.
It's just
don't rely on the field goal.
Don't make it hard.
You know, John Madden said you probably prevent defense, you prevent yourself from winning. You play for the field goal, you prevent yourself from winning.
Mm-hmm. And the most frustrating part about the whole thing, well, maybe not the most frustrating part, but a frustrating part where I'm like, I don't understand the thought process behind this. Were you watching the game?
I was at work, so I had it on and I was working, and then but I didn't really pay attention because they were up 10 or whatever in the 4th quarter, so I didn't really walk back by and pay attention.
We iced McPherson. We took a timeout before the kick. And I was like, what in the world is, I don't know, was he not ready? I don't know what was going on, but that was awful. And then, everyone kind of knows there's 3 keys to a good extra point. The snap, the hold, to a field goal. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Same difference, but, one's for 3 points, and it can be a lot further away. Regardless, 3 keys to a field goal or extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick. And there was a bad snap, so the holder, he's lined up, right? He has to catch the ball here. So he has to go from here all the way down to the ground and spin the laces and all. And when it's here and not here, that's a lot. So you expect the ball here. So that means you're moving your hands up here, make the catch, and then move down, make the ball. And it's not like it's that hard, but it complicates the motion, and so it made it a lot tougher on the holder. And I don't feel, he does get some of the blame, obviously, because he messed up the hold. But also the
long snapper.
The long snapper, yeah, he gets he gets a fair amount of the blame too.
The holder's lucky McPherson didn't kick his hand off.
Yeah,
he connected with that hand.
He was
4 fingers are broke.
Did everything he could to set it and get his hands out of the way. He wasn't able to do it quite in time, but
There's only one other time that I've seen a team ice their own kicker.
And remember, Calais Campbell has blocked 3 field goals this year. And the kick will not count. Team timeout. Dallas. It's Dallas calling the timeout.
Is that? Hold on.
It's Dallas.
There you go, picture in picture. That's not a timeout call. That's like huddle up.
Well, nah, he's like this. He's more like this. Go full screen again. He's got his play sheet in his hand, so that's why his hand's kind of curved.
Yeah, Cowboys fans didn't like Garrett either.
It's Dallas calling the timeout.
That's wild. Oh, it bounced off the front of the upright. Wow.
But yeah, that's the
not
only
often that it hits directly square.
It's the only time I remember a team icing their own kicker.
Yeah, it was rough. That was annoying.
All right, so we got to.
You know who I'm surprised that you didn't have on that list?
Who?
Dennis Allen.
Oh, true. We'll revisit
Yeah.
this next week. we got to have a different one. Different concept.
So, okay. Now, Thursday night.
All right.
Seahawks Niners. I think that'll be a good one.
It'll be a good one. I'm gonna take the Niners.
I'll take the Seahawks. I was going to pick them to bounce back, but we'll see.
All right. Jacksonville, Chicago.
Jacksonville.
I'm going Chicago because I gotta have Jacksonville lose again. Arizona, Green Bay.
I'm picking the organization as Green Bay. Like, the football structure. I just think it's better. So I think they'll win.
Indianapolis at Tennessee. Oh, I don't have to ask you. That's mayonnaise boy.
I'm not picking that.
I don't really. I mean, Houston at New England. Sorry, New England.
Yeah, take Houston.
Tampa at New Orleans.
Tampa.
Yep. Dennis Allen. Cleveland at Philly.
Yeah, I gotta take Philly, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cleveland might not win a game the rest of the year.
they're hard to pick, man.
Yeah. Washington at Baltimore.
Washington.
I'm not going to get
sticking with it.
Pick you on.
I'm sticking with. Dude, I love Jaden Daniels. Like, he was my. To
I know, I
me,
picked him before you in
out
the
of
second
all the
round.
quarterbacks, well, right, but to me, out of all the quarterbacks, he was my number one guy in the draft.
I'll stand by that until Caleb Williams
I mean,
retires.
go back, boys and girls, check the tape. I said it. I was like, I like him more. So,
Chargers in Denver.
this is tough because great coach and great coach. I'm going to take the quarterback who's better. Herbert.
Oh, okay.
I like Bo Nix, but he's not better yet.
All right. Pittsburgh and Vegas. Pittsburgh only 3-point favorites over Vegas.
The games that it's supposed to be close against tough teams, they murder those teams a lot of times. But then the ones where it's like, oh, they should kill this one is like, that's when they get close, I feel like. So I'm gonna pick the Steelers, but I think I pick them every week this year.
I'm going to take Vegas, and they're going to be 2-0 against the AFC North this year. 3-0.
Gardner
Sorry,
Minshew, man.
because they beat the Browns 2 weeks ago.
I wouldn't be shocked if Gardner Minshew.
It's not him. It's I think it's Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, Martin Minshew get hurt?
No, Minshew
benched?
just sucked.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Detroit and Dallas.
I ain't picking those damn Cowboys over my Lions.
Your Lions ain't scoring you anything in fantasy though.
All right, well, they were on bye last week, so that's hard.
Oh, Atlanta at Carolina. I took Detroit too. Atlanta, Carolina.
I'm taking the Falcons.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm picking Kirk Cousins this much this year. What is going on?
I don't have to ask you about Cincinnati. Do I?
The massacre in New York.
And then Buffalo at the Jets. Buffalo only favored by 2.5. That's kind of.
That is going to be another massacre in New York, back-to-back nights. I think that's going to be ugly. It's 2.5, maybe because it's a divisional game. And I don't know, first week after the coach gets fired, a lot of times they can bounce back. So, no, I'll pick the Jets. I don't want to. Yeah, I know. I just switched gears so fast. But that's how it works a lot of times.
All right. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Play by Play. God, we're going to have to start talking
Getting into basketball, right? It's right around the corner. Season starts in like a week or two.
I thought it was around Halloween, so I think it's 2 weeks. But yeah, I know the preseason started with the overseas preseason stuff yesterday or this weekend. College basketball is going to get ready to start soon too. We got a lot to talk about that. Our Halloween episode's coming up. This one's going to be interesting this year because where are we going to? Some of these teams that were ranked so bad for the last 2 episodes for that is going to be moving up, and some are moving down.
October 27th.
So
Excuse me, October 22nd.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So, Halloween episode will be fun. I'm still trying to figure out the costume. I got a couple ideas, but.
I think I'm going to go with a repeat.
Oh no!
What?
You got to change it up.
Man, I only got to wear Fred Flintstone once.
You use Fred Flintstone another year. I'm not doing a repeat. I'm going out and, like I said, I got a couple of ideas. we'll figure.
All right, I guess I'll look for something then.
So, yeah, that's going to do it for this week. See you guys. Like the show, share it. We're out.